Hello and welcome to the second lesson in writing essays in the Cambridge C1 Advanced exam, also known as CAE. My name's Peter Travis from Flo-Joe, and in this lesson we'll look at how to organise ideas effectively to score well. This is the second of 4 video lessons on writing essays. In lesson 1 we looked at planning your essay so it will score well for content. In this lesson, I'll give you some tips on how to organise your ideas in a way that will impress the examiner. Let's remind ourselves of the task taken from the C1 Advanced or CAE handbook. This is available from the Cambridge English website. As we noted in the first video lesson, where given the context, we need to choose 2 of the 3 points listed, say which one is most important, and give reasons. I imagined I was answering the questions and came up with the following main points for the introduction. First of all, I want to show I appreciate the need for community spaces, but I have to acknowledge the funds aren't limitless, so I have to question which ones are most important. I chose to focus on sports centres and public gardens, and my notes for each were as follows. For sports centres, I thought they're very good because of the activities that are available, there's lots of useful equipment there, and they offer social opportunities for members. For public gardens, I thought they offer health benefits for older people, they're accessible to a wide range of people, and they're important for people who live in cities. I decided that public gardens was the most important of the 2 bullet points, and that explaining this was going to be the basis for my conclusion. Okay, so we'll now try crafting our essay, but with a focus on organisation. How we link ideas together to make our essays cohesive is done in a variety of ways. For example, we organise sentences in a logical manner. We use linking words like and, but, however. We use more advanced cohesive devices such as on the one hand, despite this, needless to say, and so on. And we might use pronouns or synonyms to refer backwards or forwards to points in the text without repeating the same words. So let's start with our introduction. So we need to start with an effective topic sentence, an opening sentence. This is usually, but not always, the first sentence of a paragraph, and it explains what the paragraph is about. So what can I write for a topic sentence for the introduction? Well, I like to imagine the examiner picking up an essay to mark, and just like meeting someone for the first time, I want to make a good impression. An opening line like, "I'm going to write about the importance of," might not have the most dramatic effect on the examiner. So, what about something like this? Community spaces like leisure or sports centres, public gardens and museums are essential for the well-being of society. Okay, now let's offer an example to explain why I think this. Without them, our mental and physical health can suffer and our social connections be impaired. Okay, that's okay so far. Now it's time to address the question in the exam paper. However, how should a local authority prioritise where funds be spent in order to avoid this? Finally, let's make it clear we understand the question completely. Let's look at 2 in particular and examine which one is most deserving. So in this introduction, I showed the examiner that I think this is an important issue and worthy of investigation with my topic sentence. I gave some examples to support this topic sentence, and I asked an open-ended question that just might have gained the examiner's interest. Note how I tried to link the sentences together as well. I used them in the second sentence to refer back to the community spaces rather than repeat the same words. I began the third sentence with however to indicate the problem, and also used this, which refers back to the issue of mental and physical health. And finally, in the final sentence, I use to and one to refer back to the community spaces mentioned previously. This final sentence also links nicely to the first of our main body paragraphs. Let's turn to the second paragraph and look at how we might link our ideas effectively. I listed the following key points about sports centres. Now, it's obvious that being able to use a local sports centre is beneficial to our physical and mental health. Nobody would disagree with that, so I need an opening expression that says just that, which I can use to start my opening topic sentence. I could use any of the following. It goes without saying that, it is undoubtedly the case that, or there is little doubt that. Any one of these would do nicely. I then need to give an example of why it's beneficial, namely the activities and classes that are available, the equipment we can make use of, and the possibility of making new friends. To signpost my first example, I could use any of the following. For example, such and such is an example of this, such and such is a case in point. Take such and such, for example. We also have three benefits here, so we might want to use devices that show addition, such as along with, hand in hand with, moreover, in addition, finally, or last but not least. So let's put all this together. It goes without saying that sports centres are popular due to the range of activities on offer. For example, whether it's gentle like a Tai Chi class or something more energetic like squash or athletics, a place like this provides a wide choice of things to do. Hand in hand with activities comes the sports equipment available, which is often out of the reach of most people. Finally, sports centres provide social opportunities to meet up with friends and make new acquaintances, vitally important when dealing with our mental health. Before we move on, it's important not to overuse linking devices, as it can seem quite staged and unnatural. In this instance, I don't really think there's a problem with how I've used them, but I do wonder whether "for example" is necessary. Certainly taking it away doesn't make the point I'm making unclear, so I might remove that one. Now let's turn to the next paragraph. The key point I'm making about the benefits of public gardens is that they're accessible to a wider range of people compared to sports centres. Starting this next paragraph with a contrasting expression will highlight this change of focus and help the reader follow my train of thought. There are lots we could use, such as in contrast, however, on the other hand, that said. So a topic sentence like this would work well. In contrast to sports centres, public gardens or parks offer a simpler, more accessible route to physical and mental well-being. I listed 3 reasons for supporting public gardens. First of all, there were the health benefits for older people, the fact that they were accessible to lots of different people, and that they were important for those who live in cities. So the use of an expression showing addition might be useful here. Let's put this paragraph together, starting with the topic sentence, followed by our 3 examples. In contrast to sports centres, public gardens or parks offer a simpler, more accessible route to physical and mental well-being. They offer a place for older people to enjoy some gentle exercise in pleasant surroundings. Moreover, these open spaces are also popular with families who may want to picnic, or the younger generation who can let off steam doing more energetic activities. Last but not least, parks are particularly important for those without gardens of their own who long to escape the busy city for an hour or two. Looking again at the linking words I've used, I'm not sure I need moreover. I actually think a more low-key also works better. Now on to the conclusion. I've decided public gardens are the most important of the two. I've already stated my reasons, so it's simply a case of summarising my view. It's common to use any of the following to start a conclusion: to sum up, in conclusion, or all in all. However, I'm going to try and link my conclusion with the previous paragraph more directly and start as follows. This being the case, if finances are stretched at a local level, I feel that public gardens are the most deserving of financial support, since their benefits have a greater social impact than sports centres. This being the case is just a more advanced way of saying therefore. So here now we have my attempt at the essay. Community spaces like leisure or sports centres, public gardens and museums are essential for the well-being of society. Without them, our mental and physical health can suffer and our social connections be impaired. However, how should a local authority prioritise where funds be spent in order to avoid this? Let's look at two in particular and examine which one is most deserving. It goes without saying that sports centres are popular due to the range of activities on offer. Whether it's gentle, like a Tai Chi class, or something more energetic like squash or athletics, a place like this provides a wide choice of things to do. Hand in hand with activities comes the sports equipment available, which is often out of the reach of most people. Finally, sports centres provide social opportunities to meet up with friends and make new acquaintances, vitally important when dealing with our mental health. In contrast to sports centres, public gardens or parks offer a simpler, more accessible route to physical and mental well-being. They offer a place for older people to enjoy some gentle exercise in pleasant surroundings. These open spaces are also popular with families who may want to picnic, or the younger generation who can let off steam doing more energetic activities. Last but not least, parks are particularly important for those without gardens of their own who long to escape the busy city for an hour or two. This being the case, if finances are stretched at a local level, I feel that public gardens are the most deserving of financial support, since their benefits have a greater social impact than sports centres. That's the end of this lesson. Before I sign off, are you looking for weekly structured preparation for your CAE exam? If so, find out more about CAE Exam Success Plus, a 13-week course for students preparing for CAE. Apart from lots of language exercises and practice tests, you'll also find a model answer to the tasks that appear on the Flo-Joe website. And finally, if you're a self-study student or simply want more feedback on your writing skills, check out our CAE Writing Critique and Correction service. You can find out more about this and Exam Success Plus on the Flo-Joe website. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in our third video in this series.